Welcome, 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 welcome. We back at it again. Welcome to the Everybody Has One podcast. I am your host, Jason Flake, with my co-host, Lance Reynolds, a.k.a. the People's Champ.
What up, dog?
And, of course, we were off last week, and we are a day late this week. Of course, never a dollar short, but our Lions played last night. So we, of course, postponed this broadcast one day so that, well, number one, I had tickets to the game. So, of course, you knew I was going. The game took about 28 minutes off of my life, so I'll be on the exercise bike for at least an extra 30 minutes this upcoming week. I had to commit that to myself. After last night, man. It almost gave me a heart attack being there in person. But we did pull it out. We pulled out the W, and I'm proud of us for that.
Yeah.
So let's jump right into impressions of the game. I will yield to my co-host, Mr. Reynolds, and tell me your impressions of the game. Tell me how you felt watching the game, takeaways, all of that good stuff.
Wow, man. That game last night was kind of all over the place. You know,
Kinda.
It was, it started out like, okay, scored on the first drive.
Yeah.
Good sign. I always like when we can spot seven and then, stop the offense on the first defensive possession.
Absolutely.
That's always good.
Yep.
But I think on was it the second or third defensive possession was when we lost McNeil.
Yeah. Yep.
And, kind of from that point going forward, whatever happened in the game, that was kind of in the back of my mind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like despite the win, great bounce back game, I think, from Goff.
Yeah.
I think that game was basically the story of Jared Goff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, comes out on cloud nine, does everything that you expect him to do, hit some turbulence at that time, the worst time possible.
Right, yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
To throw that in.
But then what Jared Goff has proven that he's capable to do is that, he takes a terrible situation and he turns it around. He owns it.
Yep.
And, he pulls it out,
Yeah.
And so that was cool to see. But again, with me, my biggest impression is, despite what happened, McNeil was on the back of the brain. Then I think we lost Branch to some cramps. Was it cramps?
Yeah, I mean, that's what it looked like. So that was like late in the fourth quarter. Yeah. It looked like cramps.
And the thing about it, man, it's like, and I love it. 11 wins in a row.
Yeah.
You love the narrative of next man up.
Yep.
It always sounds good. Sounds even better when you can actually see it and it, it becomes, tangible and you have evidence. But just the person that I am and how I think, it's like eventually we're going to run out of bodies.
Yeah, well, to your point, we entered the game down 6 of our top 7 defensive linemen. And he was the 7th.
Yeah.
And he went out in the first quarter with a head injury, and they put him into concussion protocol, and then he returned. So that was, we were low, and then it was like, okay, yeah, he back in the game, and then he was gone again. And so hopefully, because we have, as they refer to it in the NFL, the mini bye week, because we got 10 days off.
Right.
Hopefully we can get him back. Dan Campbell essentially alluded to prior to the game that DJ Reader would have basically played if it was a playoff game.
Okay.
But because we had the mini bye week, he wanted to rest him. So hopefully we get him back for the Buffalo game, which is going to be an important game. I mean, all of these games are important down the stretch because we only basically have a 1-game lead on Philly.
Yeah.
So, I'm hoping that with these backups getting some time, it'll improve their stead. And it'll get them some confidence, and they'll be able to have improved reps, along with us being able to get some of our frontline guys back, so that the back end guys don't have to play extended reps. Because, quite frankly, our run defense was extremely porous as the game continued. I mean,
and that middle part of that third quarter, oh man, we were getting gassed. And that was going to be my next point. Like, don't get it twisted, man. The Green Bay Packers are a good football team.
They are, they are very good.
The record, doesn't really show, because those first 3-4 games, Jordan Love was coming off an injury.
Well, I think 9-4, 8-4.
Yeah, but those first, I think they were 0-2.
Yeah, and he got hurt. Yeah, so Malik Willis started 2 games or 3 games in a row or something like that.
Or they went 1-1 or something like that. I have to pull it up. I think Malik Willis started out. I'd have to pull it up.
Right.
But, I know when Love came back, he was looking terrible, but it was the kind of terrible where it's like, okay, he just got to get
He's just rusty, right?
He just got to get healthy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It wasn't like he fell off. It's like, okay, let him work the rust off. So the Packers are a good team, especially offensively when you're talking with their skilled players. So that was a good test for, I don't want to call them backups, but that's essentially what they are.
Right. I mean,
you know what I mean? Like,
they're not even backups; they're depth chart guys. I mean, that's really that's the more appropriate term.
You said we hovering above sky.
Yeah. These are depth chart guys. I mean, anytime you talking, we were missing 6 of our top 7 defensive linemen. So you talking about pulling guys up off the practice squad. These are extreme depth chart guys.
And then you got the linebacker core with Anzalone, Rodrigo.
And we had Quan Alexander, who we just signed. He started. I mean, so, we had 14 guys out last night. Most of them were defensive starters. We're only down 1 offensive starter, and that's Decker. And
that could be addition by subtraction, depending on your perspective. By some of Taylor Decker's play this year.
Well, like on a side note, it was funny. If you, I posted the post game celebration from Dan Campbell. And right at the beginning of the post-game celebration, they showed Dan Skipper.
Barfing?
He was barfing, yeah. Dan Skipper, if people don't know, and I'm calling him Dan Skipper. Is that his name? Is his name Dan? I know his last name is Skipper.
I believe it is Dan Skipper.
Yeah, but this guy is enormous. I think he's like 6'8". He's got to be hovering in the neighborhood of 400 pounds. And he's used to playing like gadget plays. And we got into a shootout last night. And for perspective, that means that he had to play close to 100 snaps. This is a guy used to playing maybe 15 snaps a game, maybe. I mean, on a busy night.
Dude, Dan Skipper is 6'10".
Yeah, excuse me, 6'10". The guy is
6'10".
6'10". How much is he? What do they have?
They got him listed at 320.
He ain't 320. This dude is enormous. There's no way he's 320.
320 ain't little. I mean,
no.
6'10". I mean, if you look lanky at 6'10", you could be 320 if you look kind of.
He don't look lanky. You got to look at this. You get a good look at Dan Skipper. Ain't 3. He passed 320 when he was 17 or 18, bro. This dude, he ate through 320. He didn't step on the scale and see 320. This guy is he 350 easily. He's huge.
Yeah, I mean, this could be a very old listing.
Yeah, man, listen, 320. He ain't 320. You can look at him and tell he's huge. He's huge. And he's not used to playing that many reps. You know what I'm saying? So like that had to be a shock to the system. That's why he was throwing up, because I'm like, this guy is used to playing 15 snaps a game at the most. You know that, and he's a total mismatch. Yeah. He's a great run blocker, first of all. That's why when they put him in there as the extra offensive lineman, we're so effective running. And I think it's one of the reasons why we're so ineffective running to the outside when we can't use him as the extra offensive lineman.
See, look. Bruh,
Gibbs is struggling running to the outside.
Tried to run that sweep where it was supposed to be an inside sweep and no one knew where to block. Everybody started going outside.
Right.
I'm like, bro, that was an inside sweep. All he needed was a yard.
Yeah. I'm like, I kept saying last night, stop running to the outside. We were so ineffective running outside, and I think that's one of the reasons is because we're used to having him as the extra blocker. He essentially plays tight end on those plays. And he's a total mismatch for an outside linebacker.
Now you got to use Brock Wright more.
Correct. Yeah. So you're putting you're putting an actual tight end on an outside linebacker. Brock Wright
plays flag football, and that's it.
Right.
You put him in to catch touchdowns on a mismatch.
Yeah.
Asking Brock Wright to block.
Yeah, he's not
a disaster waiting to happen.
He's not a bad blocker, but it's such a mismatch when you have Skipper.
He's not good.
Right. Yeah. I mean, particularly when you're so used to, if you got Skipper out there, that's a total mismatch.
Right. Exactly.
And run blocking.
Yeah, I'm adding to your point.
Yeah. Right. On. Yeah. Like, I agree.
Yeah,
like, Dan Skipper on a outside linebacker is a total mismatch. That dude is erased from the play.
Yeah.
He's erased. And when you got Brock Wright over there, it's at minimum, it's a fair matchup. And to your point, the outside linebacker is going to win sometimes, a lot of the time. And so those edge runs were just blown up last night. It was and Jahmyr Gibbs couldn't get any footing. I mean, he just couldn't get any traction. Yeah,
you could see it.
He just couldn't get any traction to the outside. That's why I'm like, stop running outside. Like I thought the up the middle runs looked decent, but everything to the edge was just stopped. So at any rate, as the game went on, we got involved in a shootout, and I thought guys stepped up. You know, you got Tim Patrick out there catching 2 touchdowns when he hadn't caught a touchdown pass, right, since 2021.
I mean, man, talk about, could have folded the 10 up and blamed everybody but yourself.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah, man, shout out to Tim Patrick. So, and Jake Bates with another game-winning field goal.
Hey, listen, where the Jake Bates jerseys at?
Yeah, right. Shout out to Jake Bates, man.
Like, let's get those going, because he's like, what, since Jason Hanson?
Hey, man, listen. I can't say he's there yet, man.
He got to get some playoff field goals.
Yeah, listen, man. But I don't know how many of those Jason Hanson got, but But I'm loving Jake Bates, man. Shout out to Jake Bates.
Even money thus far.
Yeah, special teams was I thought very good last night. And there are a couple of things that we need to clean up.
Dude, that's what I was going to ask you. So,
Dan
5 games left.
Yeah.
This is the final countdown here. What do you see the Lions having to do to shore this thing up? Like, what do they have to do to be in the best position to win the Super Bowl? Because I'm done with this going to the Super Bowl shit.
Right.
I'm done. Like, if the Lions, it's to the point now, if the Lions go to the Super Bowl and lose, my 2025, I don't want to prophesize.
It's off to an inauspicious start. Let's just put it that way.
To a real bad start.
Yeah, very inauspicious.
I'm done like with that whole the Lions may go to the Super Bowl. Lions Super Bowl bound. Like, winning.
Yeah.
Winning. What do you see them having to do? And can it be done? And what will it take to put them in the best position to go into the playoffs and win the Super Bowl?
So let me say this about myself, and I recognize this about myself. I'm cynical by nature, and
join the club.
And so, and with that being said, the great Emmanuel Stewart I remember him saying something.
R.I.P. Manny.
I remember him saying something about Lennox Lewis. He said that Lennox Lewis will never lose to a quality fighter. Remember, Lennox Lewis's 2 losses were to Oliver McCall and Hasim Rahman. And they could deliver your DoorDash this weekend, and you probably wouldn't know either one of them. You'd be like, thanks, bro.
Yeah.
I put a little extra tip on there for you.
Yeah, when your knot's more famous than your career.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you wouldn't know either one, and that's not a knock on I don't.
Yeah, both of them beat the dog.
Yeah, don't at me, Oliver McCall or Hasim Rahman. I'm not taking a dig at you.
I'm just about on the tier of boxers.
Yeah, but he because you got to remember he fought Evander Holyfield twice. He fought Mike Tyson. He fought David Tua. He fought Francois Botha. He fought Frank Bruno. Guys who were much more well thought of is my point. But those are the 2 guys that he lost to. But Emmanuel Stewart said Lennox will never lose to a quality fighter. Vitaly Klitschko, he fought and beat him. He said he will never lose to a quality fighter. And I almost feel that way about the Lions. The Lions will not lose to a quality opponent. Like, my fear with them is when they play Chicago and San Francisco back to back. Because those teams are downtrodden and wounded. Yeah. And it's going to be hard to get up for those teams.
Yeah.
We've clinched the playoffs. We're a little beat up.
That could be the game where Deebo Samuel just goes berserk.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're both gonna be outside. We know that there's a little bit of lore around Jared Goff and playing outside. That 5 interception game in Houston, the roof was open. Yeah, yes, I was there. The roof was open. I'm like, close that roof. I said that before. I said, close the roof.
Oh, man.
There's a little bit of something there with him playing outside. And so those are the games that I worry about. I feel that they'll be ready for Buffalo, and they'll definitely be ready for Minnesota, the last game of the year, because those are going to be important games. And they'll be ready because I think that
the more quality opponent, they lock in.
They lock in. It's just like with Lennox. And remember,
the old Golden State Warriors.
Yep, the Lennox Lewis thing, the Lennox Lewis analogy, and remember, both of the losses were knockouts, devastating knockouts.
Yeah.
I think Oliver McCall nearly knocked him through the ropes, and Hasim Rahman knocked him out. They were both big, devastating knockouts because he just was not focused. You could tell it was a lack of focus for these opponents.
That's a hell of a point, man, because it makes me think back to the 96 Bulls.
Yeah,
because I think the 72-10 Bulls, I want to say 3 of those losses were to the Raptors.
Yeah,
they were like the expansion Raptors. I think it might have been like their first year.
Yep. Yeah.
Like the Damon Stoudemire. Now, don't get me wrong, Damon Stoudemire was a bad motherfucker.
He was.
But the 3 of their 10 losses, or at least 2.
Yeah,
I believe were to that Raptors.
I believe you are correct.
So that make that narrative, it has some credence.
Yeah, definitely, and it's because it's just easy to overlook those types of teams. It's just it's the Raptors.
Shut down McCaffrey for
it's
the year.
Oliver McCall. It's Hasim Rahman. I'm gonna go in here and knock his face off. It's hard to train hard for these guys.
No one's worried about Brock Purdy anymore.
Exactly, and and even guys that are really great. Just to continue with the boxing analogy, guys like Floyd Mayweather, he fought only world champion. It got to a point in his career he was only fighting. I only fight world champions because he knew.
Right.
You put a DeMarcus Chop Corley on there, and you might not care enough to
and to throw it all away.
Correct. Yeah, you might not care enough to be prepared, and you might blow it. So he's only putting the Miguel Cottos on there. He's only fighting the Roberto Garcias. He's only fighting guys who he's going to care enough to prepare for. So there is something to the quality opponent thing. And so I don't feel like the Lions are going to lose to a quality opponent. And I also think that the most underrated aspect of our team, and specifically the coaching staff, is the preparation. We are prepared very well. The only game that I feel like there was a game planning issue was the Tampa Bay game.
Yeah.
The game that we lost. I believe we came out in 5 wide, and I believe that the first pass that Jared Goff threw was an interception because we don't come out in 5 wide. We come out in 12 personnel. We come out with 2 tight ends, 2 receivers, and a single back.
Yeah.
And we have the most options off of that play. Jared Goff is not a 5 wide, spread them out kind of a quarterback.
No, that's not his strength.
That's not what he does. So, now, just a couple of housekeeping things. Because I do have to criticize Dan Campbell a little bit. And then, then we'll move on to some other things because I know we're belaboring the Lions thing.
Hey, man, this is uncharted water.
This is. It really is.
The Lions never had this much positive shit related and attached to them to talk about in December.
Agreed.
You know what I mean?
Agreed.
I remember where with the Lions, I'm talking about going back to like the Fonts days where it was like, okay, they finally woke up in December.
Right.
Where every game was, a blood pressure medication day. You get what I'm saying? Because we're coming off a 3-game skid or we totally crapped the bed in October. Yeah. And like every game from Thanksgiving on, they're playing for their lives.
Yeah, 12 and 1, 4 games left. Yeah. We clinched the playoffs already.
Like
So
Yeah, it's uncharted territory. But I just wanted to just kind of get your feel for heading into that final stretch.
Yeah, definitely. So a couple of things. The going forward on 4th down in our own territory. We got to cut that out. Dan Gamble, man, listen, I understand that this is a part of his personality. It's something that the players embrace, and it has worked. Up until this point.
A high rate of success.
It is.
Inordinate.
It is. And it's very hard to be critical when a team is 12 and 1. But I'm going to do it. We got to cut it out.
It's the critic in us.
Yeah. You got to punt the ball.
Yeah.
It's all right. We can't be gifting touchdowns and gifting them the ball in our own territory.
Yeah, man.
That's the one thing. Another thing, and this is going to come out of left field a little bit, and this is something that I have criticized Dan Campbell about for the past couple of seasons. And it's going to sound very bizarre, but I don't think it is, and I think it's pertinent. We got to stop hitting during training camp. Dan Campbell insists on hitting during training camp.
I remember that in the Hard Knocks.
Yes.
Yeah, the whole teary-eyed speech.
And he does it unapologetically. And most teams are in shorts and shoulder pads during training camp, and we're in full pads. And by the way, the guys that they don't allow you to hit in training camp are the wide receivers, running backs, and quarterbacks.
Skill guys.
And who's healthy?
Yeah.
The wide receiver, wide receivers, the running backs, and the quarterbacks. Who's hurt? The defense, all of the guys that are hitting each other. The defensive linemen, the linebackers are falling apart, and the defensive backs. Yeah. All of the guys who they allow to hit and get hit.
You know what? There's something to that, to your point, because our defensive backfield was dinged up coming out of training camp.
Always.
Rachel, have we seen him yet?
A little bit.
You get what I'm saying? He was coming in hobbled out of training camp.
Every year.
Yeah.
Every year we're banged up in the defensive backfield.
Davis coming out of,
Every year. This is not new. And this is year 3, and the injuries are piling up.
Yeah.
And the schedule is brutal enough.
Yeah. That's my fear, man. It's like, will we run out of bodies?
Yeah. We got to cut it out.
Crucial bodies. You get what I'm saying?
Like, as if we not hitting enough when the year begins. Like, we can't be hitting each other. Like, he got to cut that out.
Because to your point, the preparation is there. But I guess what I'm skeptical of is, the preparation being there, but it comes a time where a play has to be made by an elite play has to be made. Like, the guy's there, the preparation's there, but from that point, what has to happen can only be done by an elite guy.
You need a hutch.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. You're going to have a hutch at some point.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and we can't have all those guys in the press box with the fam on the sideline in sweats or, coming out of surgery.
Couldn't have said it better.
You get what I'm so like that's
you need your frontline guys.
That's what's cause you gotta commend these guys for showing up playing, doing their assignment. But when the stakes are the highest, usually, attrition is going to weed out.
Absolutely. So and you can't tell me that this doesn't have something to do with that.
Yeah.
I refuse to believe.
I think you're on to something, man.
That this don't have anything to do with that.
I think you're on to something, man. And Dan Campbell, I think he would tell you he's not above being critiqued. Yeah. I think he critiques himself probably harder than we ever could.
I want to see shorts and shoulder pads next training camp.
Well, we'll be there.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll be there.
Most definitely.
And we'll be heckling his ass
right.
as soon as somebody don't get up.
Hey, man, listen, bro. I don't want to see nobody with pants. If I see a thigh pad, I'm out. I'm screaming, man. Man, let's move on to a big upset that took place over this past weekend, man.
Yes.
Michigan over Ohio State.
Hail.
Hey, man, shout out to Michigan, man. Full disclosure, I'm a Michigan State fan, but I do not like Ohio State. I hate Ohio State.
Is my
hey, you see, I hate Ohio State just as much as everybody else in the state of Michigan. So congratulations to the Maize and Blue, and I'll let you take it away, man. Give me your impressions of the game. Tell me what you think.
First off, outside of the outcome, it was a horrible game to watch.
I have to concur. It wasn't an entertaining football game.
In the world of college football where you could flick a channel and watch Tecmo Bowl happen,
right.
That was not the one. But that being said, my main takeaway is I think it salvaged the season.
Mm-hmm.
I think for Sharon Moore, to me, I think all the guy wins big games. You go back to, Happy Valley last year.
Yep.
His blueprint against Ohio State last year. His blueprint again, basically in the playoff game against Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think it's to the point now where I think we can stop questioning Sharon Moore. To the point, I won't say question.
Yeah.
Because I don't think there's any coach that's like above questioning. Where they were calling for his job.
I was going to say, you think they can give him a contract
they were
now?
talking about outing this dude year one.
Yeah, right, because he doesn't have a contract. Does he have a contract?
I believe he does have one now.
Okay, they did give him one.
He does have a contract now, yeah. But they were asking to out this guy.
Yeah.
Year one. I'm like, man, come on.
Yeah. Listen, I listen. I do think even though it's an exceptionally good win, going into the number 2 team in the country's place, as a 23.5 point underdog and getting a win is an exceptional coaching job. There's no way around that. And that cannot be diminished. And, full disclosure, the jury is still out on Sharon, in my opinion, because I do think that what's going on with the quarterback situation is a little bit of coaching malpractice in a time where you can go and buy a quarterback.
Well, we just did that.
Yeah, yep, you did. But you should have did that this off season.
I'm not arguing with you, but I don't think that's a Sharon Moore thing, though. I think that was like a Michigan coming late to the NIL party thing.
Listen, now that's fair. because a lot of people have said that, and I'm not a Michigan insider because I just said I'm a Michigan State fan, and we went and got our little young quarterback from Oregon State. And we brought him on over, even though, he young, he turned the ball over a lot, but we're not talking Michigan State football right now. But I did think, I'm like, man, go get Dante and give him $500,000 and bring him on over to be a stopgap before Underwood gets here. There were too many options for y'all to run out what y'all have run out at quarterback all year long. There's no reason that Michigan shouldn't have been better this season. But again, I don't want to take away from the Ohio State topic because we're talking about the Ohio State game. And because I do think that it does help the season. It makes the season look so much better. And also, I think that just like you said, Sharon wins big games. I also think Ryan Day loses big games too. Man, let's not gloss over the fact that
I was going to get to Mr. Day.
Yeah, that he's really bad and big. I mean, the amount of talent that Ohio State has versus the amount of talent that Michigan has.
Yeah, come on,
it's night and day.
I mean, well, except for it looks like their quarterbacks were having a duel of who could be the worst.
Correct. Yeah, Will Howard certainly played down.
Not as mentally,
but
he doesn't lock in mentally, man. Will Howard checks out.
And let me tell you, you know what? It's interesting that you said that because I think that is actually a very good point. And I always harken back to things that my father said, and my father always says
not a bad thing to do.
My father always says that these kids that you bring in this is antithetical to what I said about going and buying a quarterback. Even though I said go buy Dante.
Hey man, everybody's got a price. I mean, I know. Some
and Dante is from here.
Situation. I know some things about the Dante. Shout out to my guy, his pop.
Yeah.
But it's some. Some outside things there that.
But Dante is from here, so sure. It would be different. That's why I said go buy Dante. But Will Howard is not that rivalry doesn't mean anything to him. And see, these rivalry games are different. See, he can say whatever, but you could tell by the way he was playing that rivalry game don't mean anything to him.
Damn thing to him.
Quinshon Judkins too. Like they bought these dudes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They went and just dropped the bag off and bought them in.
That's a legit point.
And the rivalry, my dad, when you go and just bring these kids from elsewhere and you bring them in and you drop them from the transfer portal, the rivalries ain't the same.
No.
They don't mean anything. And that's, because for many years, as a Michigan State fan, we popped Michigan for a number of years in a row with less talent.
Mike D'Antoni.
Yeah, right.
Kershaw.
but
the scorn of my 2000s.
But you know what he did? He recruited a lot of local kids that cared and that Michigan snubbed.
That's real.
And he knew how to get to them psychologically.
That's real.
They dropped you. They ain't want you over there in the maize and blue. And you know what I'm saying? Like he knew how to get to them kids.
Because some of them Michigan games in the D'Antoni era, they were ugly.
Yeah, they were. They was just. And you could tell them Michigan State kids just wanted it. They was out there.
That's legit.
They was out there fighting for their life, and you could tell.
I'm gonna give Mike D'Antoni. You can kiss my ass.
But you could tell the Ohio State kids, they didn't want it. So, no, man, shout out to Michigan. That was a huge win, a great win for them. And, I'm interested to see how they perform in the bowl season, man. They should get a decent bowl draw.
They'll get a clout bowl.
Yeah.
Because they're Michigan.
Yeah, they should get a decent bowl draw, and I want to see how they perform there. Let's transition over to our Pistons, man. Mm-hmm. And they were 3-0 in the Emirates Cup.
Right on my heart, man. And again, man, I don't know if you did a deep dive on that Emirates Cup, but yeah, they were 3-0. But go ahead.
And they played Milwaukee.
Yeah.
And they got throttled.
Oh man, that was an ugly game.
Yeah, they got throttled.
That was ugly.
And again, I mean, Jalen Duren, I know I went on him, man. That dude continues to regress. I'm very, very concerned about his development and his lack of progress. At this point, his body language no longer looks good.
Yeah,
I think
that's
that
the concerning
yeah,
part.
something is in his head. I don't know if it's something that the coaching staff is telling him, not telling him. I don't know if he just no longer wants to be here. I hope that's not the case, but I think something needs to happen where it concerns him, because I'm very concerned about the way he looks.
Yeah.
I don't like it. Don't like it at all.
Yeah. Man, yeah. I got it right there, yeah. Duren's still up and down.
Yep. I don't like it at all. And it, and also Bickerstaff, man. I watched the Boston game. Man, there's a guy I used to like to listen to. He's older now. He's an evangelist. His name is Mike Murdock. And his favorite topic is wisdom. And he always says one thing about wisdom.
Shout out Mike Murdock.
He says wisdom is the ability to recognize difference. And my grandmother used to always say, wisdom is not the same thing as intelligence.
Preach.
And here's what I mean when I'm talking about wisdom, because I did a whole comparison contrast with Duren and him splitting time with Isaiah Stewart.
Yeah.
The last time we were on. And I'm seeing the same kind of thing happening with Jaden Ivey and Malik Beasley. Now, I like Malik Beasley, and I like him coming off the bench, but I'm starting to see the same type of thing. And I saw the same thing last year, because I'm starting to go back and look at Cleveland's team makeup last year. Mm-hmm. And I see the same thing with Isaac Okoro and Karis LeVert.
Oh, man.
It's the same scenario. So Isaac Okoro last year was a second-year player. Excuse me, he was a third-year player last year, 27 minutes a game.
And Karis LeVert, minus health issues, was a budding star.
Yeah, listen, Karis LeVert.
I mean, that kid scored 50 in the NBA.
Yeah, he's on his fourth team.
Yeah.
He played 29 minutes. Now, again, I like Karis LeVert, but the problem with him splitting minutes with Isaac Okoro is that you need to find out what Isaac Okoro is in year 3.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to figure out what Isaac Okoro in year 8 or 9. Karis LeVert is what he is. That's the same thing with Malik Beasley. Is in year 9. He's 28 years old. He is what he is. That's dog years in the NBA.
Yeah.
If he was going to be Klay Thompson or somebody, he would have been that by now. Malik Beasley, and I like Malik Beasley. I think he's doing a great job coming off. He's our best
at his level of a player.
But he is what he is.
Yeah.
Jaden, so in the Boston game the other night, this is the example. Late in the game, fourth quarter situation, Malik Beasley is in. And by the way, him and Jaden Ivey, they basically playing the same number of minutes right now. They splitting time. Malik Beasley in, Jaden Ivey out. Now you're like, okay, Malik Beasley must be cooking and Jaden Ivey must be struggling. Jaden Ivey was shooting 60% from the field and 50% from 3. He was 3 of 5 and 1 of 2. Why is he seated? And why is Malik Beasley playing?
Especially if he's not in foul trouble.
Correct. Malik Beasley having a nice game. I understand that. I get that Malik Beasley is having a nice game. But these minutes against the defending champ in a game that is still in question are more important for Jaden Ivey than they are for Malik Beasley. Because Malik Beasley is who he's going to be. And Jaden Ivey, we still want to know if he's going to turn into, let's say, De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah. But is it most important for J.B. Bickerstaff to win the game, and he felt that Malik Beasley at that moment in time gave him the best chance to win the game?
Well, that's and this is the thing.
Evidently, it didn't work because they lost.
Correct. And this is the thing. And this is where wisdom comes in. This is the ability to recognize difference.
All right.
And this is where he doesn't. He sees Malik Beasley and Jaden Ivey as the same.
I'm picking up what you put down now.
He like, I just need a shooting guard that can shoot and make shots.
As opposed to you got a budding star over here that needs big moments to prove and show who he is.
Correct.
Can be. Gotcha.
We trying to figure out if we got a star.
Gotcha.
Or if we got Malik Beasley.
Yeah, we over marinating Malik Beasley. Yeah.
We know Malik Beasley is Malik Beasley.
Gotcha.
We need to know if that's De'Aaron Fox or Malik Beasley.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I got you.
This is because Jaden Ivey might be Malik Beasley.
Right.
But we need to
gotta
know. We need to know. We trying to figure some stuff out. And if we gonna lose anyway, because I mean, at Boston, we was probably gonna lose.
I need to know.
You know what I'm saying? Like Boston better than us. But it's a 6-9 point game, whatever it is. We need to know.
We always play Boston tough.
We do.
You notice that?
We
like
actually
the
do.
last couple of years.
Yeah.
We played Boston tough as hell.
Like earlier in the year, they had us
break
down.
the streak on them when we
was actually down by like 21, and then we came back and took the lead.
I think when we sucked last year, we broke the streak against
Yeah.
Boston. Was it Boston? But we do play them tough.
We do. And I'm like, and so this is again, I like JB Bickerstaff. When he became available, I got very excited. I said, man, let's go out and get JB Bickerstaff. And again,
At least he wants to be here.
I found his firing curious. But I'm starting to see some of the cracks in the armor.
Dude, ever since you spoke on that a couple weeks ago, that's been in the back of my mind. I'm like, you know what? Man, please don't tell me we didn't get duped again, man, on this nigga. Please. Like,
I'm not trying to.
We not labeling him enough.
We early.
Like,
Yeah, no,
we doing that.
We
But,
still
like,
early
he's
in
not
the
Tavares.
process.
He's got more wins than Tavares
Correct.
already.
We see. I see some things I do like. I'm not trying to go out on JB Bickerstaff.
Right.
I do see some things that I like, but I also see why the Cleveland front office got disenchanted with him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because again, I'm cynical by nature.
Right.
So that's what I'm looking. I'm trying to figure out, like, why would they get disenchanted with this guy?
Right.
You know, because it seemed to me that he was doing a decent job.
Yeah, because it caught my attention too the other night where, you know, he jokingly was critiquing the referees and their, you know, situation with the calls and the disparity between the free throws.
Yeah.
And to your earlier point about Durant, like I wonder, is that like a narrative that's permeating through the roster that coming into the games, we know we're up against the refs. Yeah. Because for a young player, especially a post player, you know, that could be, you know, that could be to his detriment.
Yeah, I agree.
You
I'm
know,
like, he don't need to be thinking about that.
Because the body language, I have noticed that with Derek. Because the thing about it, when we had talked before, I never noticed any like motor issues.
None.
With him. Now there were, when they drafted him, some mumblings about it, but they said it was more of like a disinterest type of thing at times. But I mean, at that point, you only had, you know, the example of like a high school kid that, you know, that played 1 year of college.
Right.
So it's like,
right.
Okay.
Right.
But yeah, man, at that game against Giannis, like he was just looking defeated. I mean, and he got away from his fundamentals on defense.
Yeah.
You know, and he was going a lot of back and forth with the ref. I noticed that.
His defensive fundamentals have fallen apart quite a bit this season.
And he had more fouls than, I want to say, points.
Yeah.
And only one more rebound than foul.
Yeah. He's had some rough outings. But
they had that fool's gold game. Was it against Philly?
14 and 12.
Remember when him and Isaiah Stewart split time, and I think they combined for like 7 blocks.
Oh, wow. I think it was Indiana.
Was that the Brooklyn game? It was one of those games where they was and it looked good.
Yeah.
But I said, man, don't fall for this.
Yeah.
Like this is not sustainable. It's great it happened tonight,
Right.
but it's not sustainable. But yeah, that the Duren thing's concerning to me as well, because again, like you say, he's in that Ivy category where we got to find out what this guy is, because if he's not what we think he is, as long as the front office knows before the rest of the league does,
Correct.
we can maximize his trade value
Exactly.
and get rid of his ass.
Yes, and this is the time, right? Yeah, because after year 3 is when you start giving contracts.
Yeah.
This is the time that we either re-sign him or, like you said, we start looking for trade partners.
Yeah.
Like we maybe we can trade him for Zach LaVine, or couple him with Isaiah Stewart and get somebody. Like I don't know. I don't know what the trade market is.
Yeah,
I'm just
because
saying.
I think it's to the point now where, okay, you've committed this money to Cade, and Cade's a guy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like,
Cade. I'm sold on him.
Like,
yeah.
Cade Cunningham's a guy.
Yeah.
I've seen enough.
Right.
He just needs to stay healthy. And I think he still needs an entire NBA season of him playing where he's playing at right now.
Correct.
I think that's like kind of the last step for him, where it's like, okay, now, dude, you've got to start playing winning basketball for seasons.
Correct. Yes,
on in, but Cade, so we've got to start putting legit guys
around him.
Cade.
Yes, that is correct.
It's to the point now where you're going to get to the point, okay, we're wasting prime years.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying? So,
yes.
And Duren's one of those guys, like you say.
Mm-hmm. You got to know.
Shit or get off the pot.
That's it. Yeah. I think him and Ivy are at that point. Like they were in the same draft.
Yeah.
And it's year 3.
And with Ivy, man, dude, I just feel he's one of those guys, when you look at him and you watch him, he should just never, ever be off the floor.
Yeah. I agree.
And he's another kid where I don't question his motor.
Yeah, right. Like, he's always playing hard. I like him a lot. I actually play AAU with his pops.
Javen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I mean, and you already know.
Yeah.
You already know he's got Javen's DNA.
Mm-hmm.
He's naturally fast.
Yeah, Mr. Hunter was our coach.
Yeah, he's naturally fast.
God rest his soul.
Naturally, strong.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the things that he needs to add to his game is he needs to be expendable. What's the word I'm looking for? Just inexpensible.
Yeah.
Like, at all times. Like, we need him on the floor.
Yeah.
I think with his tools, he should be a lockdown defender.
Yeah.
Like, I think guys, once they cross half court, should be terrorized in fear that Jaden Ivey's on the court.
Yep.
You get what I'm saying? Like, with those arms and that speed, you get what I'm saying?
And he needs to be ultra aggressive offensively.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
He's so much better when he doesn't hesitate on
against Boston. Like, you 3 for 5 in the fourth quarter, bro. No.
Yeah, no.
Stop conceding the ball to other guys. Like, I appreciate the unselfishness, but no.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. Like, Tim Hardaway Jr., move around, bro.
Hey, man, Tim the elbow assassin.
Right, yeah. Listen, I like Tim Hardaway Jr., bro.
Tim Hardaway's elbows are not ashy, bro.
But watch out.
He is chilling there and letting that fly.
This your 4th team, too, big dog.
Yeah, that's real.
Watch out, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm more important than you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, it's on the player sometime, too.
I agree.
To be like, hey, big dog, get in that corner over there, man, and take your man over there. You know what I'm saying?
Like, I'm a franchise guy.
Yeah, you not. You a role player. And it's cool. Like, I'm not denigrating that,
like,
but
I need you.
Yeah, but take your man over there, man, and clear out this space so that I could cook. Instead of, and again, I like the unselfishness because I think that builds a culture, and we need to build a culture of unselfishness. But
don't clap for the ball, dog, when I got it with 3 minutes left.
At all, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, I don't need you out here like clapping for the ball.
Yeah,
when Cade got it.
You can clap after I score. You know what I'm saying? That's when the clapping gets done. But we keeping our eyes on the Pistons, man. let's hit a couple more things, man. Rapid fire.
A little rapid fire, right?
Yeah,
fast.
I like this topic, man, that you sent me about the All-Star game adopting like the Rising Stars format where they do like the 4-team tournament style. I had not heard that. I mean, because the All-Star game has basically jumped the shark. I'm tired of the All-Star game. It's boring. I can't even watch it all the way through anymore. And I'm an avid NBA fan, but the style of play. Listen, man. Like I got bored. I can watch NBA marathons, and I got bored of watching the NBA on Sunday.
211 points.
Right. So do you think that would improve?
163 point attempts. Bro, listen here, man. What the hell is this, man? No, it's not gonna work. Are you kidding me? No. Listen, the NBA All-Star game is going to flop, and we'll probably talk about this next show.
Okay.
Because at the core of it is the NBA. It's got a competition deficiency problem.
Yeah.
You know, the NBA needs vitamin C, and that's competition.
Yep.
It just doesn't have it. And, you know, the All-Star game, I guess for lack of a better term, it's too extra for these niggas. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just too extra. Like, they are just there, man. Like, and splitting them up on teams. Like, it's not going to, like, remember the All-Star game used to be, like, no, they didn't take it serious.
Right, but it was competitive.
It was
though.
competitive.
Yeah.
Right? You get what I'm saying? And you would think in the social media era with all of these sensitive cats out here that you would have some on-floor beasts that would be worked out via the NBA All-Star game.
Yeah.
Like Steph Curry and LeBron James been beefing for 12 years on the basketball court.
Right.
But these niggas is trying to hug each other every time they're within 6 feet of each other, dog. Like, no, dude, like this dude has ruined your whole hookup.
Right.
For 12 years, and
Right.
vice versa. This dude screwed you out of the 73-9 season that would have peaked them all.
Yeah.
With a couple of phone calls.
And from LeBron's side, I mean, he got you with a losing finals record out here, though. Like he got you. He got you messed up in the whole GOAT conversation.
For LeBron, Steph ruined your GOAT conversation, and for Steph, LeBron has ruined your perfect season across the board. Unanimous MVP, 73-9.
Yeah, and your championship and your Finals MVP.
Like, he ruined all. Like, so you would think every time they see each other, something like the All-Star game, I'm gonna bust this little light skinned nigga ass. I can't stand this. Like post up, there's not one All-Star game highlight of LeBron James posting Steph Curry up, backing him down, dunking on him, and throwing the ball on his stomach, like you little punk. Like not one time. And then there's one highlight of Steph Curry at the All-Star game. The one game where he hit 79 threes, and Allen Iverson and Dwayne Wade hugging on each other, going crazy. It ain't not one time. He's like, man, get your ass out here. Come on. I know this familiar to you. Like, never. It's none of that. It's none of that.
Yeah.
Kyrie and whoever. Tatum and whoever.
Yeah.
It's none of that. And until you get that,
right,
the All-Star game gonna be whack.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, guys, I think a guy like Kawhi would be one of them dudes that would take it serious, but he can't stay healthy. I mean,
right,
he's got degenerative knees.
Yeah.
But I remember, and I'll let you go because I know we got like 2-3 minutes left. But I remember that first year they adopted that, like the basketball tournament format where you got a final score you got to hit.
Oh, right.
First year,
yeah,
it was cool.
Yeah, what they call that? The Elam ending.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You had a younger Embiid and you had Kawhi Leonard. And that last game, they took it serious.
Yeah.
They was calling cats out on the ISO.
Mm-hmm.
They was taking it for real.
Yeah.
But you got to have certain guys with that mentality that's going to cultivate competition.
Yeah.
Like LeBron James, Steph Curry, and all these other dudes been running the friendship league for 15 years. So they just see All-Star Weekend as a weekend to basically kick their feet up, dress fly, and take pictures with the celebrities that's coming to pickle ride them. Yeah. But, you know, I'll let you go, man. My bad. I didn't mean to run off like that. No. That shit drives me up the wall.
That's what I wanted, man. LeBron James and Aaron Rodgers. We'll close on that one, man.
Oh.
I want you to cook on that.
Oh, God.
LeBron has hit one of his last 23 three-point attempts.
Man, listen, bro.
Now go.
Listen, man. 11% from three on the season. I think his PER is like at 20.
Yeah.
And it's like the lowest since his rookie year where it was like 18 and
Is Father Time catching up?
Father Time catches up to
everybody.
Everybody, man. But it's rough, man.
Yeah.
It's rough. Like, and what I hope doesn't end up happening is he gets to resorting to that bowling ball where he just goes down the lane running into folks trying to get to the free throw line and blow a tire.
Yeah, man.
Because that's where that thing kind of trends to.
I can almost assure you that's where it's going.
You know, and Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers was done 3 years.
Right.
He was done before he went to the Jets.
Like how many consecutive games did he have without throwing for 300
Aaron
yards?
Rodgers' agent? Is it him?
Man.
Because whoever it was, like they duped the Jets. Everybody else knew that was not going to work at all. The only people that thought it was going to work, it was 3 people. Or maybe 4 people. The owner of the Jets, Aaron Rodgers.
Was that Woody Johnson?
Yeah, Woody Johnson, Aaron Rodgers, and Devontae Adams from afar. And then he finally got there and was like, oh, shit, I bought the Kool-Aid again, too. I promise you put a mic in front of Devontae right now, he's sick with it.
Hey, man, listen. The Jets are the Jets.
Yeah.
That's why they're the Jets. And Woody Johnson is a bad owner. So it's just that owning an NFL franchise is a license to print money. You can't lose.
Yeah.
Because if you could lose money, Woody Johnson would.
Yeah, man. But I just think it's time for both of them. I definitely think